Blue 42! Blue 42! Hike!
This is The Game Managers on WJLX 101.5, America's one and only sports talk show. Breaking down college football's biggest games, latest news, and greatest moments. Are you ready? Because it starts right now.
And hello and welcome to The Game Managers. I am Nick Norris. With me, as always, Patrick Hanna. And joining us today, Jasper Athletic Director Jonathan Jordan. Guys, how we doing?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
Ready to roll.
Ready to roll. I'm doing great as well. Today we're going to be talking a lot about some Jasper High School athletics. But before we get to all that, we're going to be talking about the Winter Olympics, recapping that, some potential rule changes coming to college football. This just happened a few hours ago, this kind of information. So we'll talk about that. The NFL Combine that's actively going on. Much more. Before we get to that, though, I should mention, because now I can officially talk about it, Patrick. But,
yeah.
I got a TV show that I will be on, starring, coming up. I don't know what episode yet, but I got to be a contestant on Nate Bargatze's new game show, The Greatest Average American, on ABC and streaming next day on Hulu. Mm-hmm. And as soon as that is announced, I'll be able to talk more about my episode. But last night was the premiere.
Yeah, and, after watching, I'm excited to see you on that show.
Yeah, I thought the premiere was pretty cool. JJ's actually went and studied the trailers and figured out some spoilers about how my episode went.
He scouted it out a little bit. He's trying to see how far he makes it. We're trying to frame him up in the episode. Okay, he's standing, so he's got to get this far. So my wife has a pretty good idea.
Well, I can't wait for it. That cracked me up.
She doesn't miss much.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to it. They released a teaser with me in it, and it was almost painful to watch. I'm used to hearing myself, and that doesn't bother me. But watching myself speak, there was something uncanny about it.
Your hair looked good.
Yeah, I was about to say your hair.
They put me through hair and makeup that day. I also did that show on 2 hours of sleep. It was the day after Halloween, and I had to wake up at 4 a.m. to drive there.
Oh, I do remember.
Yeah. I got they put you in a van. They take your phone. I can only say so much, but I can tell you this: they take your phone, put you in a van, and
wow. So you were basically abducted.
It's what it felt like.
That's pretty much what it was.
You were abducted and ended up on TV.
It was an unmarked van too, wasn't it?
It was.
Did they offer you candy?
they had candy. I got on the van though, and I was like, "Well, did you guys do anything for Halloween?" They're like, "Oh no, we went to bed at 8 o'clock. We want to be arrested." Then, oh yeah, me too.
Yeah,
but. Anyway, I'll keep everybody updated on that. But in more interesting news, the U.S. men's and women's hockey team both won gold last week. That was really cool to see. I enjoyed watching both of those matches. And then my favorite of the gold medals, and it seems like a lot of people's, Alyssa Liu, she brought home the gold in figure skating for the U.S. for the first time in 24 years. And I don't know if you guys have heard her story. I'm sure you have. It's been everywhere.
It's wow.
She probably has the best sports story of the year already. For those who maybe somehow haven't heard, she was a skater, was very decorated at the age of 13 to 16, and at 16 said, "I'm done. I've had enough. I don't really enjoy this anymore." Took a couple years off, and kind of accidentally got back into skating just recreationally. Realized she wanted to do it again, and went to her coaches and told them, and they tried to talk her out of it. Like, no, you don't need to do this. You've waited too long. You've gotten too rusty. She's like, no, I'm doing it, and also I'm picking my music, and I'm eating what I want to eat, and I'm going on my terms. She said, if I want to practice, I'm going to practice. If I don't, I don't. Obviously worked out. Yeah, gold medalist, first time in 24 years.
And when I heard that story, I'm like, this is going to be an ESPY nomination.
Yeah, oh yeah, they're going to make a movie about it.
Oh, it will, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, also just, doing things differently. You watch all the other skaters, it's very slow sort of piano music, and she's just having a good time, man. She's out there playing Pink Panthers and stuff. It's pretty cool. So I was a big fan of that. And hockey. U.S. ended up finishing second in total medals behind Norway. We had 33 total, 12 gold, 12 silver, 9 bronze. And then, Norway, they just kind of dominate the Winter Olympics. But we were right there with them, man. That was a pretty awesome Winter Olympics to get to watch. I was happy to see it.
One of the things that I enjoyed watching is Snoop Dogg trying all the events.
yeah.
That was
bobsledding.
Bobsledding was my favorite that I watched with him.
Bobsledding's pretty fun to watch. It's one of those sports that I'm like, is this a sport? I guess it is. I don't know how much input you have into it. I feel like you got more input in like skateboarding.
And they would be coming down the track, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
And they would like scrape the side, and I'm sweating. As they're green right now, so they have a chance at a world record. And they scrape the side. I'm like, oh Lord, they're out. And then they win the world record by like 0.9 or something like that.
Is it a balance thing? Like, do you turn based off balance? Or is it all on the push?
Something in there that you steer with, I think.
Really? Okay. So I thought they just hopped in and went.
Because I think the front guy, he is doing all the steering. Your two middle guys are trying to keep it. If you're going to the 4-man, he's keeping the balance, and then the last guy is the brake man.
Okay, so that's a sport then.
So it's really kind of like a team effort. But then when they go to the 2-man, you really got to have that in sync communication.
Yeah.
And all with it. Because I saw one of the videos after Snoop tried to do it, and he got like scared.
Yeah.
And they went through explaining the process of how the bobsledding and all worked, and I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah.
And you really
I should have watched that because I thought they just jumped in and went.
Yeah.
I think I'd be the second guy in the 4-man.
Yeah.
sled.
That'd
like,
be
I'm
me
the hype
too.
guy. Hey, come on, you're doing great.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go. You're doing good. You're doing
being
good.
perfectly still.
Yeah.
We're in a good place right here. We're 0.9 under, guys.
Yeah.
We're green.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I was also wondering that. Did they know? Like, did they know how? Or do you just get out and you're like, I hope that was good?
Yeah, is there like in golf, you have the leaderboard
Yeah,
that you can see?
they got like a
is
little
there
clock?
something like, does it flash green as you're under?
Yeah.
And then when it flashes red, you're over? I don't know.
Because that's the part that I would want to know too, is because with how technology's come so far in advance, do they have like the pedometers in there that like, hey, you're green.
Yeah.
Or upon every turn, you see a clock and stuff going to be able to go that way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something I really am
don't
interested
know.
in. Know,
It might
too.
be like one of those things, like if you only know how many days you have left on the earth, like
You don't wanna know?
wanna know?
Do you really want to?
I just want to get down this sled. Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to turn the sled over is my goal right now.
It feels like, I don't. Does it go faster the heavier you are? It feels like you just load that thing up with like 400 pounds.
Yeah, I would dominate.
Yeah.
Get us three and James Phillips. We got an awesome
got
chance
it.
at it.
And a pack of donuts.
Yeah.
Oh man. The NFL Combine is underway. This is one of my favorite times of year. I always like keeping up with the Combine. I'll always like to see who ends up doing the bench press. It's kind of a dying thing now. You see less and less guys competing in it. You essentially now get no skill players that do it.
No.
And a lot of linemen choose not to do it anymore. I don't think it'll be around forever. I think by the time we're old men, it won't really be a thing anymore. But I'm always interested to see how it goes. They've been sharing all like the old clips of the dudes from the '90s doing it, pushing out 45 reps and stuff. Just insane. I like watching those. So I'm excited to see what goes into the Combine. Obviously, going to keep an eye on Fernando Mendoza, all the big names that are going to be heading up the draft when we get to it here in April. Do you guys watch the draft? You like the draft?
I love the draft.
I do too. I'm a big fan of the draft, and I know a lot of people don't care to watch it. There's a lot of stopping and waiting.
And I love how they've broken it up too.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I really like the best because, it's normally an all-day thing and people can get burned out. But I love how they put an emphasis on, hey, first round's going to be one day, then you got your mid-rounds the next day, and then you got your end of the pecs.
Yeah. So this is funny, and if my fiancée Caitlin's hearing this, I apologize. But I really debated after our weddings. Her family's taking a trip to Destin. And I had enough days to tag along with them, or I could take them and go to the draft in Pittsburgh. And I really had to debate it. And I was like, well, I am getting married the day before. I guess I'll go with the family trip. But I did have to think about it. I was like, it's free. If I could just get there, the draft itself to get in is free. I could do that.
I mean, you don't want to start your marriage off on the bad foot there, pal.
Yeah. One of the biggest missed opportunities for me back in 2020, before obviously the pandemic and they had to do the draft virtually, they were going to do it in Vegas that year. And they were going to do it at Caesar's Palace on a giant fountain. And
Really?
They had a floating stage, and the guys would take a boat onto the stage to get drafted.
Dude, that's awesome.
And then the pandemic happened. We never got to see it. When they ended up having it in Vegas again, they had a different idea. It wasn't as good. But I was like, that would have been so awesome, so entertaining to see.
Take one of the biggest events on earth and let's make it bigger.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Let's throw a boat in a fountain, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. I was really upset when that got canceled. I mean, there was bigger things probably going on. I don't know. Speaking of the NFL, the Raiders, this came out today, they're allegedly poking around, seeing what they can get for Max Crosby. And they said they would be willing to entertain 2 first-round picks and a player for edge rusher Max Crosby. I don't know that anybody's in the position they could even do that besides the Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who because a lot of people have cleared the cap for this draft. And then it's because there's not really that many big names that are going to be free agents this year.
No, yeah.
And so, I mean,
Travis Kelce is up there.
I think he's going to retire, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like
you don't think he will?
I think he would have already announced it at this point.
I think he was waiting until after the wedding.
Well, that's very possible. Yeah, that's very possible.
After his wedding or Nick's wedding?
Probably both.
That's right. That's right.
Because y'all are, tag teaming and going to have like a double wedding, right?
Yeah, I know. They footed us the bill, too.
Yeah.
We got an announcement from Netflix this week that Mayweather versus Pacquiao 2 is happening on September 19th. The last fight between these two was in 2015. Of course, Mayweather won that. And at 49 for Mayweather and 47 years old for Pacquiao, they have a combined age of 96. I'm far less excited for this iteration.
Yeah, I'm not excited for this one like I was the first one.
Yeah, the first one I was pumped for.
I was too.
Yeah, I purchased the first one and watched it. I don't know that I'll even tune into my Netflix subscription to watch it. Maybe I'll just watch the highlights on Instagram.
I watched the last Tyson fight.
Yeah.
I mean, you always look, if it's a train wreck, you kind of want to see it.
That's true. That's true.
I think they're gonna make money off of it.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna kill it.
And I don't think you need anything other than your regular Netflix subscription to watch.
Yeah, that's all you need.
But they'll have people sign up for Netflix.
Let's put it this way: if Mayweather's involved, he's making money. Like,
yeah.
They're not losing on this deal.
No. Netflix, they just have infinite money anyway. They just spend other people's money anyway, so they're not worried about it. They're one of those companies that's like been in debt since they started. Technically, like they just keep spending it. We are possibly going to have 2 rule changes in college football. These are being addressed right now at the combine. All that a lot of the heads of the NCAA are together there. One is a reevaluation of the targeting penalty, which I think most people would be a fan of, changing that punishment. We don't know what that would look like, but most likely no more of a second game suspension for that. You kicked out of the first game, but you'd be back for the next. That's what they're talking about. The other that I think is more likely to actually happen, just because the NCAA likes making sort of pointless rules, but one of these is going to be a stricter dress code. So I don't know if you guys, I know you have seen it, but if you recall, some dudes now are wearing like the short football pants. Mm-hmm. You notice those? Getting rid of those. Saying you got to have your knees covered just to try to get more coverage on the knees, get you people wearing knee pads again. I don't really have an opinion on that. I just want them to get rid of the multiple mouthpieces.
Yes, that was going to be my thing I brought up too.
I hate the multiple mouthpiece, and it's not a safety concern. It's just ugly.
Yeah,
I just hate it. I hate that, and I hate like a neon green mouthpiece. Just wear the color of the helmet.
Yeah, I'm a purist.
Yeah,
I was an equipment guy at Alabama. We wore the same uniform every week.
Yeah.
I mean, you had your knee pads covered your knees. I think I'm out on the short shorts. I'm out on that. It's a tough look, man. You got defensive linemen trying to do it.
Yeah.
What do those guys do?
Now, you know what I did like, and I only like it when it's defensive linemen. I do like the crop top jerseys.
No, the offensive linemen, I feel that.
Yeah, the offensive line. Yeah, you get a big belly hanging out. That's funny.
Chance Warmack.
Yeah,
that's an intimidating move right there. Hey, you look at this barrel. You're about to get it.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I just don't like the short shorts. What years were you an equipment manager at Alabama?
I was 02 to like 06. I finished up with Joe Kynes in the Independence Bowl.
So you missed out on the one alternate jersey Alabama had in any of our lifetimes, the houndstooth letters.
Yeah.
Like a year or two, maybe 2008. I think that might have been.
Yeah.
What'd you think of those? Did you like those or no?
I don't like to fool with them.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Alabama's got the best uniform in college football. I think Alabama, Penn State, Southern Cal, maybe. I don't like to change them up a lot. So we didn't do too much. There's always rumors of a white helmet floating around. We did some for a Joe Namath golf tournament one time. I thought those were really cool.
And there's some precedent for those. Like that's what they wore. They wore them for a game in the '80s, and then what was it, the '60s, '50s, maybe early '60s? They had white helmets.
Yeah, and I mean Alabama fans. We got letters when they put the Nike swoosh on the jerseys.
Yeah.
The equipment room did. Alabama fans feel strongly about the uniforms, and I get it. I think when you're classic, you don't have to change.
Yeah,
You know?
What do you think about the new ad patches where you can get logo, like sponsors. That's coming to college football.
Yeah, I'm ready for it to come to high school.
Yeah.
We've got great sponsors in the city of Jasper. Patrick Suchy is listening right now.
There you go,
We love an
yeah.
auto parts patch on our jerseys for football. Carl Cannon Chevrolet.
There you go, yeah.
Ford. I think it's they're going to have to do more things like that to keep up with the NIL era.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They have to create new streams of revenue. And a lot of it's already been thought of. LSU tried to do it a few years ago, and there's some cool things out there. Like I think Colorado put a QR code on the back of the jerseys where people could donate to the players' NIL. You know, I like to be creative on stuff like that, but I think it shouldn't outweigh the uniform.
Yeah.
You know, if you can do it and do it classily or whatever, do it with class, I think you can do it.
Are you gonna like seeing a flaming hot Cheetos on the Alabama uniform or whatever? Though
Man.
you gonna enjoy that?
Golly. Yeah, we need somebody, Drummond Cole, to come in
Yeah.
and put it on the nape of the neck.
And the one thing, Alabama needs to keep it white. Do not put any other color on that jersey.
Yeah, and I think if it's an Alabama business, you know, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
You know, I think they struggled when they put the Mercedes-Benz logo, you know, on the top of the scoreboard at Legion Field.
Yeah.
I think that was a tough look. But I think if it makes sense, I think people will go for it. You could go stickers on the helmets. You could do a lot of different things that I think they will explore because they're going to get every bit they can get out of that sponsorship stuff.
How much money would a sponsor have to bring to you for you to take it to the board and say we're no longer the Jasper Vikings, we're going to be the Jasper Chevrolets?
Oh my God!
The Jasper 2-stack plus burger at Alabama Stackers.
We'd be the Jasper Vikings, brought to you by.
Okay, all right. Very good. All right. Well, the NCAA is also toying with the idea of 7-figure fines and coaching suspensions for transfer portal tampering. This needs to happen. Obviously, this has been too much of the Wild West. Any sort of rule they can put into place, I'm for here. How are you going to be able to enforce it without SEC just being like, well, that's fine, we'll just leave the NCAA? I don't know. But they're going to try. So
there's going to be a lot of people that's going to try to appeal and do this, that, and take it to court, like what we're already seeing. And
well, the problem is not you have some coaches now that are bold enough to do it. The problem is the runners, the third parties.
Yes.
And it used to be, you know, they used to train us on what runners for agents look like, and they would try to catch the bus when you're getting off the bus and try to get close to certain players. Now it's this whole NIL stuff, so it's a different type of communication, and it's just like it is in high school with you know, trainers getting kids to transfer to certain schools, you know, and you know, you just got to be careful about it because you're not gonna catch the schools at it,
right?
Unless they're dumb enough to do something stupid, you're not gonna catch the colleges doing it.
Yeah. It's
gonna be the go-betweens. That's the ones that are breaking the rules. You know, these so-called agents or third parties or things like that. So if they're going to catch them, they better be really good.
Yeah. It'll have to be a situation like that happened recently with Clemson and Ole Miss, where a player himself reported it. It would have to be something like that, I think, to get
And then
caught.
he left and went there.
Yeah.
He literally took the money and ran.
Yeah. Coach, this isn't right.
This is bad.
Anyway, I'm going to respond, but it shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to stop this after I get over there. Alabama basketball got a 175-point win over Mississippi State on Wednesday, and the Tide is traveling to Tennessee for a 5 p.m. tip-off on Saturday. Meanwhile, Auburn dropped another SEC game to Oklahoma on Tuesday, losing 91-79. The Tigers hope to bounce back against Ole Miss at 7:30 on Saturday. Patrick, how are you feeling on Auburn basketball? Obviously, this has been a year that hasn't quite lived up to the standards set by Bruce Pearl, and now Steven's sort of been struggling a little bit. What's your take on Auburn basketball right now?
I mean, it's just like with anything. When you follow somebody that has success, you know, they're gonna, and it doesn't help that it's your father. You know, so, you know, I know that he gets tired in the press conference saying, you know, I'm not Bruce Pearl, my name's Stephen Pearl, and I'm having to. He's learning. You know, he's learning. I mean, it's like what we've said, you know, he's the key of the recruiting that's been going in there, and he's just got to learn to how to manage the game and how to handle substitutions. That's if you go and look at the minutes breakdown, he's not really doing much of substitution, and so that's part of the problem, in my opinion. But it'll all work itself out. It'll all work itself out. I'm faithful to it, and when you're down there watching, go across the street to Toomer's Pharmacy and get some good old Toomer's lemonade. Make it all better.
How much grace do you think Stephen Pearl will get? Let's say next year isn't necessarily as big an improvement as Auburn would prefer it to be. At what point do they start poking around elsewhere, or at least?
Well, I know that the AD down there, he's all about patience. He doesn't really listen much to the boosters, and he's kind of made that known. But with the talent that you have, that you bring in, I think this year is a grace period since it was kind of a late transition.
Oh, yeah.
I would say after the third year, then the seat might get a little bit hot, and you'll have to start either seeing massive improvements or we're going to have to go a different change.
Yeah. I've always thought, just about for any sport, your first 2 years shouldn't define everything. Now, when you get to that third year, that's when you start, maybe the other stuff starts adding up if it's not looking any different. But I mean, we got to give people some grace to get things together, especially when it's his first head coaching job.
Yeah,
you hired him knowing that, so got to go in with what that is. In the NHL, Team USA and Canada hockey players are returning to their respective teams. One who is not, though, is Sidney Crosby. He's going to be out for at least 4 weeks with that back injury he got playing for Team Canada. Really upsetting for me because I'm a Penguins fan, and that team was starting to look like the 2016 squad. And, man, they're going to miss him. So he'll be back in time, for playoffs and whatnot, but hopefully. But
how many years has he been playing?
A long time.
Because I know he was very young when he was drafted. Wasn't he like 17 or 18?
Let's see how old Sidney Crosby is. Age. He's 38. So he's been doing it for a while.
Man.
Yeah, probably nearly 20 years. Age drafted.
Oh, he's just now figuring it out.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah, somebody who's been
17.
when you get in your 40s, those 38-year-olds, man, they're just now figuring it out.
He's just a kid. Yeah, that's right.
He's just learning, man. He knows how to put on his uniform now.
We went to a game this year, and we got to see. Now they ended up losing the game. That sucked, but we got to see a shootout. And Crosby was.
Fun.
I mean, he was money. Like as soon as he was out there for the shootout, you knew he was going to make it, and he did immediately. That was really cool. Like just seeing how clutch he was. Unfortunately, I couldn't say the same for the goalie that night. But Crosby, he's a professional. It's pretty awesome seeing him. And on Sunday, we got the Duramax Texas Grand Prix at 2:30. Patrick, you're our NASCAR guy. What should we be looking forward to here on Sunday?
Good old-fashioned road course racing.
All right.
This is, to me, this is like the fun races besides the restrictor plates of Daytona and Atlanta and Talladega, because you really get to see the talent of the drivers and who can manage their brakes and everything. And so, look for people like A.J. Allmendinger and Michael McDowell, Connor Zillick, Shane Van Gisberger that came from Open Wheel. So those five always put on the show, and those five are always up there in the top five at the end, putting on a good show to get your money's worth.
Yeah. Now, you were also saying, speaking of Duramax, you were saying that Jasper Athletics really needs to get the soccer team a nice Duramax Chevrolet or something.
Hey, that would be great to have.
Yeah. Well, those soccer balls, they add up in weight.
Yeah, they do.
They have a big engine to pull it around. All right. We are going to take a break. When we come back, though, we're going to look at some of the spring sports going on at Jasper High School. We'll talk about baseball, softball, soccer, track, and golf and tennis as well. We'll hit them all up, talk about it, let JJ give out some shout-outs to some other sports that have wrapped up and guys who have done well, whether that be wrestling, Patrick, which you're a part of, or indoor track. Whatever else JJ wants to give a shout-out to, we're going to let him. So we'll be back in just a moment. Don't go anywhere.
Hello, folks. This is Greg Hansen with North Country Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in beautiful Arab in Jasper, Alabama, bringing you the biggest competition between the Chrysler store and the Ford store all year long. Our teams are teaming up to save you thousands of dollars. We've actually put the teams together, and they're in a competition to see who brings home the trophy. So in conjunction with the Chrysler Wrap Up the Year sales event, we are giving the biggest discounts of the year. It is our Wrapping Up the Year sales event, and the only way that we're going to win this competition against Ford is if you show up to save the thousands of dollars. Top dollar for your trade and 0% financing and the lowest payments possible. For instance, a 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee discounted over $12,000. Drive it home for $29,999. Used cars as low as only $49,999. That's the kind of savings that you're going to get when you buy from the Chrysler store at North Country Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Arab and Jasper. Check us out on the web at NorthAlabamaCars.com. I'll see you soon.
You're listening to The Game Managers on WJLX 101.5.
And welcome back to The Game Managers. Nick Norris, Patrick Hanna, Jonathan Jordan. And JJ, you are the athletic director at Jasper High School, of course. And we wanted to give you an opportunity to just kind of talk through some of the achievements Jasper's had this year, give some kids some shout out and some coaches. And I know before we get into spring, you kind of wanted to give a shout out to some kids in indoor track and also wrestling that medaled.
Yeah, the year, it's a long year athletically, and we have a lot of kids that play multiple sports. So it's big anytime that we get state level recognition. In indoor track, Brody Garrett was third place in the state high jump indoor. So he's playing basketball and doing indoor track at the same time.
That's crazy.
And finished third in the high jump. If he would have done, if he would have just trained indoor track only, he might could have won it or finished state runner up.
Right.
But he's a kid that wants to see his school do well, and he's probably one of our last, 3 or 4 sport kids. I think he's a legit 4-sport guy, and he'll do the heptathlon and that kind of stuff after outdoor track is over with. So Brody's an awesome kid, and they just don't make them like him anymore. But we're proud of him. We expect him to really have a good outdoor season as well, and we'll kind of hit them in a little bit. And then at the same time in the winter sports season, we had 2 wrestlers medal in the state wrestling championships. We sent 10, which is a school record for us. And we had Leo Garcia finish third at 106, and Cortez Samuels, who was a 3-time state runner-up, finished state runner-up at 138. And we're going to really miss Cortez. Yeah. Cortez was a kid that started wrestling in junior high and just continued to get better and better and better. And since he was a varsity kid, he won the match that clinched the state duals championship for us when we won it. And he was probably an 8th grader?
Yeah, he was an 8th grader.
So
pretty awesome.
We've continued to watch him progress and develop into a young man that we're excited to represent our school. And if for the listeners that haven't ever seen a wrestling match, it's one of my favorite sports. It's absolutely primitive. Mm-hmm. It's me versus you.
Yeah,
there's nowhere to hide. There's nobody you can blame. And me versus you is the highest form of competition to me.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And it's what everything else comes down to. But it's where they start and where they end at. So for Cortez to be a 3-time state runner-up in 3 different weight classes is unbelievable. The one year in high school that he didn't finish in the state championship, he finished 4th, and he broke his collarbone before that, and only wrestled 10 matches going into. I think he was 7-3 going into the state championships and finished 4th. So he's a stud. But we're gonna hate to lose him. And he was a football player and a wrestler too, so another multi-sport kid. And we love those kids at Jasper. We like them to play anything, but we like them to be all around and do a lot of different things and get coached by different people, and make different movements during the year. We don't want them to do the same movement over and over again for 12 months. We want to do something different and compete differently. So we're excited about those kids, and then that kind of gets us into our spring, our spring stuff, and they go from can to can't. We have baseball going right now, and Coach Ware, I think in 20-something years, he's missed playoffs 3 times.
Pretty good record.
Now, obviously, we're in a very difficult area with Mormon Jordan and Coleman that we got our hands full, but they're going to be ready to play. They're 2-2 right now. They have couple of kids that have signed athletic scholarships to compete at the next level. John David Kimbrell and John Walker Wilson have both signed to play baseball here locally at Bevel State Community College.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that. And not like I said, they're 2-2. Had a big win last night. Had a run rule. They'll have a big weekend this weekend, so they'll get the opportunity to continue to get better. We've had good pitching the last couple of outings, so we're excited about that. And then we swung it well yesterday, so that was good. Softball is 2-1 on the year. And Coach Horton does a really good job with that crew. Kind of battling the injury deal a little bit right now.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, man, I went down and watched them take BP in the indoor a couple of weeks ago, and they can absolutely let it fly. I mean, they can rip it.
Yeah.
So we're excited about them. I think they're going to score a lot of runs. The only game they lost this year, they lost 9-8. Now we're going to pitch it better than that. It was really cold. I think it was a feels-like temperature of like 25 the other night. They played maybe at Lawrence County or somewhere like that, and we might have got squeezed a little bit. I don't know. Everybody's got their own umpires.
That's right.
So, but we lost that game. We'll play 3 really good teams this weekend in the Hillcrest tournament. I think we play Hillcrest, Tuscaloosa County High, who finished with state runner-up in 7A last year, and then we'll play ACA in that. So that's a great tournament to get in, and I'm excited our kids are going to compete in that. And I went and watched them the other night, and they play really hard and do things the right way. So I'm excited to see Coach Horton continue to develop, as the head coach. And, I think they have a pretty high ceiling.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to watch them.
I'm amazed at how, because for anybody who thinks he might be looking at his notes, we made this. This has nothing to do with Jasper. I'm always so amazed at how you were able to keep everything everything's in order, and you remember all these different team names and where we're going to be and what time it's going to be. I don't know how you do it.
I can't remember. My wife gets on to me every morning when I wake up because I either forget to turn on the dishwashing machine or I forget to load the dryer, take the towels and put them into the dryer. I can't remember that.
Yeah.
But I remember stuff like this.
Yeah, I mean, weight classes from a month ago, and all the. I mean, and I'm if your job is one of those things, I understand you remembering it, but. Yeah, that's very important. You have a great memory.
Because I was sitting here in my head trying to remember if Cortez was 32 or 38, and he busted out right off the bat.
Yeah. Insane.
Well, I enjoy it, and the kids are important. They're important to us, and what they do is important to our school. So we try to make a big deal about it. I had the opportunity to play, in high school and a little bit of college, and back when I was coming through, it was nobody was really getting publicized for anything.
Yeah.
And not that I was good enough to get publicized for, what are they going to publicize me for? Getting my uniform on? I sat in the dugout in college and waited until about the 7th inning, and then I would go get loose and maybe throw a setup guy or something. But I like our kids to know that they're important. We try to recognize them for as much as we can recognize because we ask a lot out of them now. We ask a lot out of them, but I'll tell you what they do. They have created the brand that we get the opportunity to take part in. That's been on the back of our kids. Our coaches are great, and we have a wonderful administration, but our kids are the one that put in the work. Our kids are the one that puts the crooked numbers on the scoreboard. So the day that we stop doing it for kids, I'm gonna go wash golf carts. That's what I always say.
Well, the kids, because me and Patrick, we both have them in our classes, and the kids notice it, and the kids recognize it, and the kids, even in the little things, as much as posting them on Instagram, they take pride in that, and that goes a long way. And I remember being that age, and Instagram for schools wasn't a very big thing when I was in high school, but going and Saturday morning immediately going and get the paper to see if your picture was in it, and that you take pride in those things, and it's good that it is important to the school that we kind of are a leader in that.
Absolutely, and it gives them neat opportunities, like when they get to do our own interviews and things like that at the high school. And our sponsors are fantastic about sponsoring those kind of things. Shannon Johnson sponsored the tennis tournament this past weekend, the Simfa Slam, and the boys actually won that beat McGill in the semifinals, and then beat Hoover in the finals to win the Simfa Slam championship. And as our kids, they had a bracket up on the fence, and they were sticking it on the bracket like they do at the NCAA tournament.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
And they were doing interviews with them, and that's cool.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that you remember as a kid. Yeah. Even the folks from Hoover and McGill Tulane were stopping me during the tennis tournament and saying what an awesome venue that we had and what a cool opportunity that was for kids. But like, I don't remember like all the games that we won when I was in high school and college. Don't remember that. I remember the things that I got to see, the way people made me feel, and the experiences that I got to take part in with my teammates. And so that's what we want to try to build. You know, that's what we want to try to continue doing at Jasper, because that's the things that are going to impact them farther than they're going to have to cover hook to curl for maybe 4 years of their life, 6 years at the most. But they're going to have to live on those opportunities forever. Have to be positive role models, mothers, fathers, things like that. That's what we're trying to build, so we get a good opportunity through the things that our sponsors do for us to put kids in positions to learn, to do an interview, to have to speak to someone. So that's all. That's all we're trying to do.
Yeah.
And then obviously. They get a chance to compete at the high level, the highest level. We ask them to play, regional events or out-of-state events every year. When we changed our name from Walker High School to Jasper High School, we thought that was an emphasis because we had to create a completely new brand. And so what we said is that we might not win every state championship, but it's going to have to come through here. And to do that, we felt like we needed to go play. I mean, you can play good competition around here. You can. But there's no trade-off for going to play Bayside, UMS Wright, and people like that in volleyball. Spanish Fort. Sure. Like, they're not here. Yeah. So if we can get our kids to go play games like that, we're really excited about that. So, we'll take that through the spring, that same idea. Tennis will play the toughest schedule in the state of Alabama. They'll be ready to go compete for a state championship. And we feel like we've never won it at one singles. We've won it everywhere else, but we've never won it at number one singles. We have a sophomore, Cole Howell, that's a really good player at one singles.
Yeah.
And we hope maybe he can make a run at it before he leaves here.
Yeah.
But he's a really good player. So we're excited about the men's tennis team. The girls have been playing unbelievable. So they've won since this week, in the last week, they've beat McGill, Homewood, Hillcrest, and Northridge, which is a perennial power. So they've had as good a week as anybody, and they've won all those matches. So they finished runner-up in the Simfa Slam on the girls' side this weekend. So we're really excited about the girls' team. Scout Barber's a really good player. Millie Oliver is kind of a leader on that team. So we're excited about what they can do. I just was talking to Coach Manasco at lunch today. He's got the golfers. They were heading out to the club today to get some swings in, and he's the best weather guy in the spring. He's better than James Spann. Here we're sitting at the lunch table, and he's got 5 different apps open up because he's like, at some point, we got to get some swings in today, at the golf course. So he's working through that, and he does an awesome job with our golfers. He and Vess Hollingsworth. Vess is his assistant golf coach. And they do a really good job with that. Outdoor track, we'll get them going here shortly. They haven't kicked off yet. And they are, again, Brody Garrett kind of lead that group. But we have a lot of we expect a lot out of our throwers this year.
Okay.
We haven't seen a lot out of them, the past few years. But last year and this year, we expect for that to be a really good part of our team. So, I mean, if you ever want to watch anything, there's always something going on at the high school.
Oh, yeah, always.
Just come up there, get out of your car, and just start yelling, "Go Vikes," and you'll be right. We'll be playing somewhere.
There you go. Very nice. Let me ask you this. If you, let's get rid of all the red tape with, whether, HSSA, whatever. If you could add any sport to Jasper, what would it be?
See, this is a tough question now. I don't know.
Will we get a rodeo? What do we get? You know,
that'd be solid. Now they give out some scholarships for rodeo, and I don't know, because whatever I say could get me in a bad spot right here.
okay, I won't get you in trouble.
But I will tell you this: the last two sports that we've added have both been women's sports.
Yeah.
And they've both been successful. We added women's soccer, okay, and that's been about 5 or 6 years ago. Maybe 6 or 8 years ago.
Yeah, I think it's about 6.
Yeah, and I tell you what, they've made the playoffs 3 or 4 times in that time. And then we added competition cheer, and they finished 4th in the country.
Yeah,
I mean, so
awesome.
Here's what my goal is. Whatever we have, we're going to compete at a high level. And if we can't do it and compete at a high level, we're not going to do it. If we can't staff it with the best people that we can find, with really good coaching, with really good people in those spots, and do it the right way, we're not going to do it. Yeah. I mean, it would be like, let's say if, a fish house that's all of a sudden going to start serving something crazy, sushi or something. Like, that ain't your job is to cook catfish. Your job's not to make sushi.
Right.
You're just going to mess up what you already have. So I think, there's some we're kicking around some ideas. Yeah. But if we can't do it and do it at a high level, we're not going to do it.
Well, the two I hear a lot from kids: bowling, flag football. And I've said I think those both are more clubs, so we may have to get and see what we can do with some clubs on those. But
there's bowling's out there.
Oh yeah,
flag football's out there. Women's wrestling is out there.
Yes, yeah, that's a big interest.
Esports is out there. We haven't gotten into any of that yet. We kind of feel like some of that would dilute other sports that are currently really successful, and so you're splitting your kids up. And again, is that the best thing for the school?
Sure.
You got to take into consideration transportation, venues. We're already tight on venues. We need another gym. I don't think we're going to get that. Dr. Jackson says I spend a lot of money. I'm trying to get better at that. But I told her I raise all I spend now.
You said there's a lot of aspects to your job. You are very much a salesman on top of everything else. You do a lot of selling. So I don't know how you do it all, but we'll really quickly, let's talk about soccer. Patrick, you're one of the head coaches right now. You are the unofficial sort of interim. We won't get too much into that. I don't know what Coach Wisdom wants to share about what's going on. Good news for Coach Wisdom, but about what's going on with him. But how is soccer going? I know the girls have had a successful week.
Yeah, girls, man, they're real fun to coach. That is a fun group of girls that they cheer on each other, and they really have bought in to what Coach Wisdom has been preaching to them, and then they bought into some of the conditioning that I brought over from wrestling to kind of get them through some matches to be able to do the system that Coach Wisdom wants to do. And they have done just a very, very good job. Want to brag on them just because of everything that's kind of been going on is they didn't realize that when I got there, they had already started practice. And our captains were instructing it. That's like they were stopping. The boys' captains were officiating it. And they were stopping and trying to teach them, no, this is what we need to be able to do. And then when they heard me blow the whistle, they're like, when did you get here, Coach? And I'm just amazed. I was just, that's, from a coach's standpoint, that's what you want to see. You want to see leaders step up. And it shows that the team and the coaches have chosen good captains to be able to make things run no matter what hand you're dealt. And so that's something that I've just been really, really proud of them on. Both guys and girls, we've got a gauntlet in all this week. We have 6 matches coming up.
Yeah.
Monday, we're going to be hitting the road going to play West Point. West Point's a very good team from what Coach Wisdom shared with me on film. We got a rematch with Fultondale on Tuesday here at home that we're hoping to be able to get a big crowd in. Both teams had really good competition when we played Fultondale, and both of them are. That's the one they're locked in on.
And I think that game, girls starts at 5, boys at 7. I think from memory. So definitely get there, show up for Jasper soccer.
And then Thursday we kick off with area facing Mortimer Jordan. Always been a good team. And then we head off to a tournament on Friday and Saturday. We'll have 2 games on Friday, and then we got another one on Saturday. So we're going to be hitting the road. We're going to have a lot of team bonding on the bus, and hopefully we're able to come back with some W's to be able to share with Coach.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and Coach Wisdom, he will be back very soon. I'm sure he's itching to get back. He'll be there. But they're in good hands with Patrick as well. And Patrick, you do a lot of stuff too. You're a PE teacher. Mm-hmm. You do soccer, wrestling. You work here at the radio station. You're a pastor at Ezra Baptist. Both of you guys. You stay busy now. So no free time for you guys. That's good though.
That's the guy who never takes a break.
Well, we're all right here.
Off all his stuff too.
Yeah, we all stay busy, don't we?
Not to mention TV star now.
Yeah. Thank you.
I think he trumped us now.
Well, he will if he wins some money. Now.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Got to tune in. Whatever that is. I don't know when. I'm waiting on him to call me. I keep checking my phone.
If we don't see him at work the next day after it airs, we know why.
Yeah, he mailed it in.
Yeah, that's right.
Hit the lottery, mailed it in.
Yeah, no more work for me. That's right. All right. Well, I wanted to get to football today, but it looks like we're running out of time. So, JJ, I'm just gonna have you come back on here one day soon. I hope you don't mind that, man. But let's take a break, a little bit longer break this time. When we get back, we're going to look at our weird news of the week. I got some weird ones I found, so I can't wait to get to that. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't go anywhere.
Hello, folks. This is Greg Anson with North Country Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in beautiful Arab in Jasper, Alabama, bringing you the biggest competition between the Chrysler store and the Ford store all year long. Our teams are teaming up to save you thousands of dollars. We've actually put the teams together, and they're in a competition to see who brings home the trophy. So in conjunction with the Chrysler Wrap Up the Year sales event, we are giving the biggest discounts of the year. It is our Wrapping Up the Year sales event, and the only way that we're going to win this competition against Ford is if you show up to save the thousands of dollars. Top dollar for your trade and 0% financing and the lowest payments possible. For instance, a 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee discounted over $12,000, driving home for $29,999. Used cars as low as only $49,999. That's the kind of savings that you're going to get when you buy from the Chrysler store at North Country Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Arab and Jasper. Check us out on the web at northalabamacars.com. I'll see you soon.
Hey guys, this is Ashley Anthony coming to you from North Country Ford in beautiful Arab and Jasper, Alabama. Guys, I know you just heard my better half say that there's a big competition. Well, let me tell you what team you want to be part of. You want to be part of Ashley's Ford team. The number one selling truck in the world is the Ford F-150, and the number one place to buy your vehicle is from Ashley. Make sure you ask for Ashley's team. Guys, don't listen to what he said. I'll give you the biggest discounts, the most money for your trade, and the best buying experience you ever had. Y'all come make the short drive to Arab or Jasper, Alabama, and I promise you'll be glad you did. Make sure that you ask for Ashley's team because that's the winning team. Nobody wants to be on my better half's losing team, right? Y'all make the short drive to Arab or Jasper, Alabama, where I promise you'll drive a little and save a lot. Or check us out on the web at northalabamacars.com. And as he says, but I say it better, I'll see you soon.
You're listening to The Game Managers on WJLX 101.5.
And welcome back to The Game Managers. We're about to get into our weird news of the week. And I've got a few good stories for us. JJ, what I always do, because I never tell Patrick the stories in advance, I just put little headers where he can just guess what's happening.
What would you think when you see that in an email?
So one says fast tat, one says suspended for peeing, and one says unstoppable Girl Scout. These are all different stories, by the way. We're not tying them together here. This first one, city officials in Gastonia, North Carolina, got involved after a video surfaced of someone getting a tattoo in a Wendy's dining room in the city. The video was recorded on February 5th from outside the restaurant. Shows a man with his shirt off and another person sitting behind him wearing blue gloves holding a tattoo gun. City officials said an environmental health team member talked to the store manager on February 6th, reminded them the restaurant cannot tattoo without a permit. For its part, the franchisee said they took immediate disciplinary action to address the situation. This ended up being the cashier that was given the tattoo, by the way. There's been an update of this story. And the health rating was a 96 prior to this. I assume it took a little bit of a hit.
Yeah, it probably lost about 15, 20 points.
There used to be a restaurant in in Walker County, not in Jasper, and I won't say the name of the restaurant. It's been defunct for years now, but they would not post their health record, and they refused to. They on the roll, it just said pending, and it said pending for a year. I was eating there. I was eating there. A health inspector walked in the door. He said, "Everybody out now."
Wow.
The next day, it was shut down.
Oh,
Allegedly, and this could totally be folklore, allegedly there was a monkey in the freezer.
What?
Not to be sold to customers, but for their own consumption, the owners of the restaurant.
I don't even know what to say.
I'm speechless.
That food, though, was incredible, and it was greatly priced. I went there every single day. I had my senior graduation party there. I asked for a to-go box after the health inspector told us to leave. They wouldn't give me enough time to get one. Anyway, continuing on. This one is suspended for peeing. Let me find my story here.
Yeah, this one I'm really interested on.
Christopher Carroll, 36 years old, was suspended from his job as a paramedic with the Baltimore County Fire Department and is facing 23 criminal charges following inexplicable behavior at work and elsewhere. Investigators said Carroll urinated in different spots all over his workplace, including on his supervisor's keyboard, in a pot of chili, in coffee creamer, and in an ice maker. Prosecutors said Carroll, quote, urinated into the ice, wiped on a scoop, and used the scoop to mix the urine throughout the ice, end quote, all while filming himself. Other targets were someone's chapstick, a can of vegetables, and a carton of orange juice. Officials believe Carroll was making the videos to post to online subscription services, and he was denied bail.
I mean, dude's got a problem.
Yeah, I mean, where at his work and elsewhere?
Yeah,
like, I'm curious where all is elsewhere?
Yeah,
and how do you pee in the ice machine, wipe with a scoop, and film yourself?
Yeah, I mean. He's got to be mounting that phone somewhere.
TikTok's gonna love this one.
There has to be an accomplice.
Yeah, there probably is. This is a bonus. I'll throw this one in there because it kind of ties in. Residents of Stoughton, Wisconsin have been complaining to police about someone using the city park as their toilet. The Stoughton Police Department said it had received numerous calls from citizens who found human feces and used toilet paper along a walking path in the park. Using trail cameras, police discovered the person was fouling the park in the early morning hours, then used a drone to catch a 46-year-old woman in the act. Officers say the woman is not homeless, does not appear to be mentally impaired. She just enjoys doing this.
That's sick, man.
Yeah, there's an epidemic going on.
I'm going to argue with the not mentally impaired. Yeah. I might argue with that.
Yeah, I think there's something. There's something undiagnosed.
There needs to be a second opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. I mean, that's naturally that's where we're supposed to do it.
I so thought that was going to be a dude when you were telling that story.
I did too.
Yeah, woman, 46 years old. I mean, we all have midlife crisis in different ways.
Yeah. Some people get a convertible. She does her business in a park. But apparently she's in a good place mentally.
Yeah. And she's not homeless.
No, she's probably got a good place.
She didn't want to mess up that bathroom.
Yeah. My house, the house that I live in, it used to be a rental property. And when I moved into it, the toilet seat was broken in half. Apparently the woman was so large that she broke the toilet seat. But that's not the main thing. The main thing is that most of the neighbors came over to me and they're like, we're so glad he moved in. And I was like, why? And they said, well, the lady that used to live here is a large woman, and she would walk outside completely naked and cut the grass with scissors.
Can we go back to the monkey in the freezer?
Yeah,
exactly. That's a second bonus weird news.
Anyway, lovely woman. Here's a good story, though. This is Unstoppable Girl Scout. This is actually a nice one to end on, although it is maybe the makings of a work addict. 6-year-old Girl Scout Pim from Pittsburgh, whom her dad calls, quote, literally unstoppable, has sold more than 75,000 boxes of cookies this year.
This year?
It's February. People magazine report on February 11th. Her numbers exceeded the previous record for single-year sales, and now she has her eye on the lifetime record, 180,000 boxes. Holy moly. Pim's go-getter attitude goes beyond cookie sales. She read 506 books last summer for her library's reading program, and her sales accounted for 10% of her school's popcorn fundraising effort. Pim's dad calls her troop, quote, a place to be herself and belong. She is welcomed and loved. My main thing from that is, it's always cute when a kid's like, "Will you give me $1 for every book?" If they came back and was like, "I read 500 books,"
yeah,
I'm like, I'm gonna have to go back on that.
Yeah.
$500.
The sales is what's impressive to me.
This is a highly competitive 6-year-old girl.
Yeah,
Like, I'm thinking right now, like, how many Jumbotron videos do you think she could sell in this community?
that's what I was about to say. He's fixing out for her
Like a
job.
recruit. That's an investment.
This awesome kid needs to come to Jasper.
Yeah.
Like, right now. She could be an athletic intern right now. We'll write her a letter of recommendation and cut her loose.
So she can be the AD in training.
100%.
She's 6 years old. By the time she's old enough, you'll be ready to pick it up.
So she sold how many boxes? 108?
She's sold 75,000 this year.
75,000. And I love Girl Scout cookies. And I just want a box of Caramel Delights, and I can't find anybody selling them.
Oh, she could set you up.
She probably has like an online thing that I can go on and put
I bet she does.
Golly.
Put in an order and a job offer.
Yeah. I actually read another, because I was so intrigued by this. I ended up reading another article like with the dad interviewed, and he's like, I don't have anything really to, like, I drive her around. He's like, I'm not pushing her to do this. She's just like a psycho. She just wants to do this.
They have to hire her. Girl Scouts of USA has to hire her.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Everybody with any business should be trying to hire her in Pittsburgh. Like, that's amazing.
Hey, does she get the bid she wants in a sorority?
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Throw this on there, you're in.
Yeah.
You're fine. You're
McDonald
in right
House
now.
or whatever. Yeah. They'd be all for it. Absolutely. Anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. Kids are impressive, man. They really are. Like, you'll come across a kid like that occasionally.
You don't know what a kid will do
right.
unless you encourage them.
Yeah. Great message there. Well, I believe that's about going to do it. We got about 4 minutes to spare. JJ, what is going on with Jasper coming up? How can people get out and come support Jasper Athletics?
Like I said, there's sporting events going on all the time. We have soccer at home Tuesday night.
Yes, sir.
Come out and watch those kids. They're absolutely unbelievably fun to watch. They get up and down the field. The girls' team is fantastic defensively. Mariana Rigsby is probably an all-state goalie or goalkeeper. I'm learning soccer terminology here. We're great on the pitch. So come out and watch. The girls are very physical on defense. Keila Perez is unbelievable offensively, and our boys team absolutely fly up and down the field. We took a tough one the other night, a loss at Russellville, but I wasn't able to go, so I was watching it on the network. And I mean, the speed at which these kids play. Axel Gomez is a 2-time All-State player for us, and he can absolutely do it. He might be a future pro. Like he's a really good player, and he's an awesome kid.
Yeah.
And the whole team is just fun to watch. So come out, and I think that's the next sporting event going on at home. Come out and watch those kids. They would love to see you there. And, like I said, during the spring, it's something every day from junior high. Let me give a shout out to junior high baseball. They're 5-0-1 right now.
All right. Yeah.
I was talking to those kiddos in the hallway today, and they told me they're pitching it great. 5-0-1, and I said, well, we'll have to get some folks to come out and see you guys.
Absolutely.
So Coach Sage Harding is coaching them, and he does a great job. So just get out, come to a field. Somebody's probably playing. And get involved in some of these kids' lives. You'll definitely make a difference, and you'll be impacted far more than you'll impact them, I promise you.
That's right. Patrick, what are we learning about Sunday at Ezra Baptist?
Man, we're going to our journey through the cross, leading up to Easter. We're going to be kind of talking more about outreach, being able to invite people to come to church. And so we're going to talk about that and how we can minister to the lost. We got a couple of mission projects that are kind of in the works that we're really, really kind of excited that we've kind of partnered with some organizations on that's going to be big for the Oak Grove community. And so once those things are finalized, I'm going to be so excited to be able to share it with you guys on here.
All right. That's Ezra Baptist. And you can also check out a lot of those sermons on YouTube as well. So be sure to check those out. Thank you, North Country Ford, for being a sponsor. If you'd like to become a sponsor, you can do so by emailing us at gamemanagerspod@gmail.com. You can also just message the Facebook pages, WJLX or the Game Managers, or just message me or Patrick directly. We'll be happy to talk to you there. Next episode, Patrick, you're not going to be with us again. You got
I'm I'm going to be on the road somewhere.
On the road. That's okay. We've been missing Maddie's Minute. We're going to get back to her in 2 weeks. Maddie, we have not forgot about you. We can't wait to have you back on the show. Patrick's daughter usually hops on with us. And, yeah, she does a great job, man. She's a national talent. And I believe that's going to do it. Thank you, everyone, for listening. JJ, thank you for coming on. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And we can't wait to talk more football. Definitely have JJ back on to talk some high school football as we get closer to that. And we'll be talking about the draft here before very long, Patrick.
And the Stallions.
Stallions. I've been messing the Stallions. I need to talk to you about that. So we're going to see what we can do alongside them as well. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And we will see you next time right here on WJLX 101.5.
Blue 42! Blue 42! Hut! Hut! Hike!
Thank you for listening to the Game Managers. Like the show on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TGM Pod. Until next week, goodbye, adios, and sayonara.